morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a look at a really good new supporter card. It is Piers, and stop me if you've heard this one before. Our translation comes from the lovely Antoine Boulet. We like Antoine Boulet, one of our very favourites over here. So it is a new supporter card. What does it do? Well, apparently, you search your deck for an energy and a darkness Pokemon, show them to your opponent, put them into your hand, and shuffle your deck. Now, one of the things that was super important as soon as we saw this card was trying to figure out exactly whether this allowed you to get special energy or whether it only let you get one darkness energy. Well, there is only one darkness symbol in the text, but it's not outside the realms of possibility that you would, for instance, see the card saying one darkness Pokemon and energy or something along those lines. The good news is, Antoine, being as lovely as Antoine is, has gone and checked with a bunch of native speakers, and I've seen the tweets, I believe them. And basically, it does get you a special energy, which is a game changer. If this was search for a darkness energy and a darkness Pokemon, I would be basically saying, oh, it's kind of like Volkner. And Volkner's not bad. Volkner got you a lightning energy and an item card, but actually this would still be a weaker version of Volkner. It wouldn't be a great version of Volkner. I mean, really, we could go back to something like Roseanne's research. Roseanne's research said that you could search your deck for 2 in any combination of basic Pokemon and basic energy. So if this got you exactly 1 energy, but it had to be darkness, and exactly 1 Pokemon, but it had to be darkness, it would actually suck. Bearing in mind, we've just got Sonya, and Sonya lets you either search for 2 basic Pokemon or 2 basic energy. If this didn't get you special energy, it would kind of suck. It does get you special energy, and it's kind of good. Remember, we don't really have any good way to search special energy at the moment, except for Guzma and Haller. And we do have Guzma and Haller, and Guzma and Haller is good. Guzma and Haller lets you search your deck for a stadium card, but if you then discard 2 other cards from your hand, you can also search for a tool and a special energy. So you get a stadium, a tool, and a special energy, but you've got to play this and discard 2 cards from your hand. That's not exactly a perfect solution now, is it? It's a solution, it's not a perfect solution. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Piers is a way better solution. It literally just searches your deck for any energy. If you want to go and get yourself a basic darkness energy, you go right ahead, son. No issues there. But it will get you your special energy. And that's huge, because when it comes to stuff like Twin Energy and Horror Energy, these are phenomenal cards. Twin Energy is 2 colorless energy, but not on a GX or a V. But there are a bunch of non-GX, non-Vs out there that are going to take this card and run with it and do amazingly. Horror Energy is a psychic energy, but when you attach it to a psychic Pokemon, then if you want to attack that psychic Pokemon, you've got to take 2 damage counters if you want to do any damage. Yowza. And yet, this just lets you search for it. I mean, we really haven't had good ways to search out special energy. I mean, let's go a little bit history lesson here. You know I like my history of the game. In the time that I've been playing, the kind of cards we've been using to get special energy are Energy Lotto, lets you look at the top 7 cards of your deck, find an energy and put it into your hand, and that one was really good, and it was in Guardians Rising, it rotated out a while back now. But I played this in a bunch of different decks, because the fact of the matter was, anytime I really needed that special energy, stuff like strong energy, double colorless energy, etc., this was just awesome. It was beautiful. It had my back. And then computer search. Computer search became basically a must-play for anyone relying on double colorless energy. Seismitoad decks or Mewtwo decks as an example. Or as 2 examples. It let you discard any 2 cards from your hand to search for any 1 card in your deck. And generally speaking, you know, something like this that was very difficult to search out, double colorless energy, would be a pretty good option. And then you would be in a really good position, except for the fact that it was an ace spec, and you can only play 1 ace spec of any description in your deck, so you would play this, but you weren't allowed to play any other ace specs in your deck for the remainder of the game, boo, hiss, etc. And yet, it was good. This just lets you search it. And let's be honest, right? Guzma and Hala at the moment is being played specifically to search out special energy. Not entirely, but if you go looking at a bunch of deck lists out there at the moment, we see a bunch of Mewtwo and Mew lists that really rely on stuff like Aurora Energy or Rainbow Energy. And they will inevitably be playing a couple copies of Guzma and Hala. It's kind of standard at the moment, right? If you're relying on special energy, you have to play Guzma and Hala. This is better than Guzma and Hala for getting special energy. Now, if you're in a Darkness deck, this is an absolute no-brainer. Of course you're going to do this. But I think this is going to see play outside of a Darkness deck. Because remember, recovering supporters nowadays is super easy. We've got Eldegoss, which will, well, when you play it from your hand onto your bench, you get to get yourself a supporter card and put it back into your hand. We've got Chatot, which does the same thing, but it's on a coin flip. But then again, it's a non-V Pokemon that only gives up one prize, so you can kind of forgive it for that. And then, of course, we've got Mewtwo from Unbroken Bonds, which up to now hasn't seen a huge amount of play, because what it actually does is put the supporter card on the top of your deck, rather than actually putting it into your hand. But you see, the difference now is, firstly, we've got the Oranguru from Sword and Shield to swap a card in our hand for the top card of our deck, i.e. when Mewtwo puts the supporter on top of our deck, Oranguru will get it for you. But also, it means that we can use Scoop Up Net to use this over and over again. So you can keep using Scoop Up Net to keep reusing Mewtwo to keep getting other cards back. Frankly, whatever cards you like. So recovering supporters is about as easy as it's been since Versus Seeker was a thing. I love this. For special energy, it's beautiful. And I do see this seeing play outside of Darkness decks, because any deck that really wants a specific type of special energy is going to love this. I mean, we've seen Speed Energy. It is a lightning energy that when you attach it to a lightning Pokemon, you get to draw 2 cards. So you play this, and alright, drawing 2 cards from your supporter for the turn isn't great, but getting an energy that you need to attack and also drawing 2 cards in the process when you've got nothing else really is a very, very nice option. And as for the searching, you get to search yourself a Darkness Pokemon. And it's any Darkness Pokemon, which is quite nice. And if you're playing an all-Darkness deck, you've got stuff like, I mean, Pokekid is the one that comes to mind for me. Pokekid is a fairly upsetting card in that it's a supporter card that just literally lets you search for a Pokemon, and that's it. That's all it does. It's any Pokemon, which still gives it some value, but it is literally just search for a Pokemon, which is a little bit sad. Well, in comes this and lets you get any Darkness Pokemon. And obviously we are thinking about Eternatus V Max here. Eternatus V Max is where we're going. It's a phenomenal card. The ability is a Sky Field. You can have 8 bench Pokemon. If you're only benching Darkness, you bench any non-Darkness and you lose it. And then the attack does 30 damage for each Darkness Pokemon you've got in play. So 270 with a full bench. That's pretty amazing. And we do have that hidden Darkness energy, which just gives free retreat to the Darkness Pokemon it's attached to. It's a Float Stone, but it only works on a Darkness Pokemon. If it's not on a Darkness Pokemon, it's still a Darkness energy, but you lose the Float Stone-ness of it. This is alright. I don't think it's phenomenal, incidentally. I don't think it's the best one we've got. But all of a sudden, Piers will get you that one Darkness Pokemon you need and a special energy. That's pretty good. And let's face it, let's finish off the video mentioning Crobat V. And it's taken us a while to get here, and for that I apologise. But Crobat V is what makes this broken. Because Crobat V is the new Dedenne. Dedenne, discard your hand, draw 6 cards. Crobat V, draw until you've got 6 cards in your hand. This searches out a special energy and your Crobat, which you then drop and draw until you've got 6 cards in your hand. And then if you've gone and got a speed energy in a lightning deck, you go and get another 2 energy. I love this for searching out special energy. I think it's great for that. I love this in Darkness decks. I think it's great for that. and then you remember that Crobat is a thing. Now, there's already multiple reasons to play Crobat over Dedenne. The fact that it won't be KO'd by the residual damage from Pikachu and Zekrom's GX attack giving up 2 prizes, good. The fact that your opponent cannot turn its ability off with Power Plant, the fact that they cannot gust it active with Great Catcher, etc. There are many, many good reasons to play Crobat over Dedenne, though it is a bit less aggressive, a bit slower. But when you then build in Piers as well, and again, everything I've said about Piers being recoverable with stuff like Mewtwo is absolutely true. But you are going to see so many games where your opponent goes for a Twin Energy or a Speed Energy and a Crobat using Piers. And like when we look at a card like Jasmine, we're going, oh, that looks quite good in a metal deck and only a metal deck. Search for a metal Pokemon if it's your first turn going second. Search for 5 instead. But here, this is going to be good in a whole bunch of decks. Yes, it's a Darkness-type supporter, which is supposed to help out Darkness decks very obviously, but actually this isn't a Darkness-type supporter. This is the kind of supporter that is going to help almost every deck. Now, I'm not saying every deck will play it, but I'm saying the fact you can search out any special energy and your Crobat and then start going nuts. I think this is a 5 WOSY card. And I know I've left this quite late to look at it, given that it's a 5 WOSY card, but the more I look at this, the more I start thinking about deck building, and I think any deck that's playing special energy, the idea of getting your consistency Pokemon and your special... What else do you really need that you're not going to draw off the Crobat? No, I'm pretty gosh darn excited. This was one of those cards that the first time I looked at it, I went, oh, that's kind of cool. And then the more I look at it, I'm like, oh no, wait. Well, it just keeps getting better every time you look at it. I love this card. But I don't know, maybe I'm being too bullish, maybe I'm being too excitable. Either way, there's a comment section. That's where you can find out all about it. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where you can find out about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in, but are pretty gosh darned awesome nonetheless. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.